Hi, stamping friends. It's Sherry Parker coming to you live on Monday, September 1st. Happy September. It's Labor Day, and I know a lot of us have been off for a long weekend, which has been awesome. So I wanted to hop on tonight. Sometimes it gets a little crazy during the work week, and I'm going to be going out of town. So hopefully you're able to tune in tonight. If not, then maybe you can watch it on replay. So I've got some cute cards to show you tonight using some fun Halloween stamps and accessories. So before I get to that, I did want to mention that it is September. So on Wednesday, September 3rd, you will be able to register for Stampin' Up's free World Card Making Day virtual event. It'll be a lot of fun, but you have to register. And then you also have an opportunity to purchase a really cool kit. I have a picture of it on my Facebook page if you haven't seen it. It's a great deal, and you don't have to buy the kit, but you can make the cards along with Stampin' Up and others, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I would encourage you to check that out on Wednesday. And then secondly, on September 18th, I am having a stamp club. I'm starting that back up, and it'll be every third Thursday, I think, starting in September. It's $10. There's no obligation. You're not committed to any time frame or to purchase anything. If you do make a purchase that night, then I have a gift for you that's of the $10 value of what you paid to come. So it's really a win-win, and it really just helps cover my supplies. So that's really all I had to share tonight. I'm going to turn my camera over, and we'll get started on some spooky cards. All right, I'm still in my makeshift studio here in the dining room because I did have that procedure on my foot. I am on a boot, but I'm still hobbling along. And today is the first day I could bear weight on my legs, so it was great. I was able to go downstairs, even into my craft room. I hadn't been down there in weeks, so really fun. So I'm super excited to share with you tonight the Fright Night bundle. This is available online. It's a really cute stamp set and die cut bundle. Hi, Ruth. Thank you for joining. Hi, Felicia. So we'll be using that tonight, as well as these really cute foam sparkly stars embellishments. And then this awesome paper, it is called Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper. And each sheet of this has a really fun, like whimsical graphic on one side, and then on the other side are like kind of more prints that are more, just kind of more subtle prints. And this one's really cute too, because it would make a really cute scrapbook page, or you can cut sections of them and use them for cards. And at the end, I'll show you some cards that I made using that piece of Designer Series paper. But one thing I did want to call out is that one of the sheets, or actually two of them, because you get two of every sheet, these are cutouts. So you can see everything just pops out, and you just plop it onto a card or project or anything like that. And at my stamp club on the 18th, we'll be making some little Halloween treats, and we'll be able to use some of these die cuts. So they're really cute and easy to use. All right, with that, I will show you today's projects. So we've got 2 Halloween cards, and I called them kind of like spooky surprise. So this one here, when you open it up, it has a little pop-up boo. So I thought this is a really cute idea for Halloween, to just a fun little surprise for somebody. So that's the first card. And then the second one is a fun fold, and we're using just really very earth tones, black, silver, white. And then on the inside, there's a little surprise boo in that one as well. So this is what we're making tonight. Very easy cards, and we're using all the things from that Fright Night bundle. Okay, we're going to start with this card here, and all you're going to need is a half sheet of cardstock. I chose black, but you could use whatever color you liked. And then I picked out some strips of the Designer Series paper in that pack I just showed you. So I love the little candies. I like both sides. And then I thought for this card, I would use this more raspberry color on either side. Of this one, I used the gray tones, but I thought I'd maybe change it up a little bit. So what we'll do first is we will just start adhering some of this Designer Series paper right onto the card front. And we'll just kind of butt those right up next to each other. And the cool thing is, you know, each side of a designer series piece of paper has a really cute pattern. So you just have to decide which pattern to use. So same setup as I did here, but I just changed it up a little bit and used the raspberry. All right, so to create the main part of the card, I'm using this nice large stamp, and it's really cute. You've probably seen some samples, you know, online and things where they've used marker and actually colored different colors for the different pieces. I'm just gonna stamp it using the Memento Black, and I'm stamping it on a piece of that designer series paper on the orange. I really like how that looks. It's kind of speckled. And I'm using my Memento Black ink pad here. It's a little bit bigger stamp, so I'm just gonna ink it from above. And we'll stamp it right onto the orange here. And then what you'll do is just take your die, the coordinating die. So remember, there's two of these shapes here. So the stamps coordinate with the smaller one. Okay, so you run it through your stamp and die cut machine, and then magic of TV, there it is. And so we're ready to assemble our card. So I did go ahead and I cut out the piece using this die cut here that coordinates, so this would just go right behind like that. And you might have noticed the spider in the middle, and that is by design. I frequently will do this. If I'm cutting out a shape that's gonna back something else, you might as well maximize the paper. So here I just cut out a spider, but you could also cut out a word. You know, why create extra scrap if you can use these pieces here? No one's ever gonna see it anyway, and you'll have a lot fewer scraps. So that is my little helpful hint there. I'm going to adhere that to the black piece like this, and then we'll be ready to assemble our card. One of the really fun things about this die cut set, so 3 spider webs come and you can run them through at the same time. And just to kind of show you, so through one little turn of your die cut machine, you can get 3, you can get half a spider web. So it just takes 6, we're not using all 6 for this card, and you can have a full spider web. So pretty cool. And we're gonna use 3 for each of these cards, and I think it really will be a cute card with just 3 because we're going to be covering them up. So I'm going to use the green glue, and I'll just put a little bit of glue behind here. Now remember, you could also use adhesive sheets if you prefer to do that versus glue. It's really just kind of your own preference. Sometimes I find the adhesive sheets, just peeling the little teeny pieces off can be a little bit cumbersome too. So I don't mind putting a little bit of glue. I've got the silicone mat here, so it's real easy to clean off if I get glue all over it. All right, so I put my half spider web, and now I will put my focal point of the card. We will use some Stampin' Dimensionals and pop that up. I can't believe it's September already. I keep seeing things about pumpkin spice and all the different fall things, and it's like, oh my gosh, summer went by way too fast. All right, so I'm just gonna adhere it to my card front like that. And then I've got a couple of different gradients. I don't know which one you like better, white or orange. I think either one works. I might use white, just gives a little more contrast. And we'll pop that out as well. So one of the things I did, I got this die cut set and I just started cutting out shapes, because that's really the most labor intensive part of using anything like this, is just cutting them all out. So I cut out a bunch of the greetings and spiders and everything. And then that way it's ready to go. And then last but not least, we'll add a spider. I cut a dimensional like into thirds, and we'll just have him kind of crawling off the side like that. And then for a little bit of bling, we will add our cute foam stars. And this is just personal preference. You can use as many or as few as you wanted. I like to use a lot. One caution I will tell you, they're foam, so just be careful, they can squish. So just be mindful of that. Okay, so now I've got the whole front of my card, it's all done, and now we'll do the fun pop-up for the inside. So for the inside, it's very easy to do. You just need a strip of cardstock here. It's 1 inch by 4 inches, and then I've scored at the 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch line, okay? And then I'm gonna basically create a little accordion here. And what you'll wanna do is use like tear tape or really strong adhesive so it will stay. Since it is a pop-up mechanism, you wanna make sure you have a good adhesive down. So I'm using tear tape here. And it's really simple to do. You'll open up your card, and then you're gonna put it about that far up, and then about the same distance, and then kind of press just to make sure that it's opening and closing. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so you've created like a little chair. And then for the fun part, we'll create our pop-up piece, and this is another scrap of that designer series paper. And then I'm taking this is a sneak peek. This new is called Sign Design Punch. So this will be in the holiday mini catalog. You'll get to see that in a few days. I think it's a really cool shape, and there's a stamp set that coordinates with it as well. And I'm going to put the word boo, which I cut out with my die cuts, on that little punched shape. It's not really an oval, it's not a square, it's a really cool little shape. Something different. I don't remember having a shape like that before. And then I'll put just another little piece of tear tape right here on the front. Hopefully you can see that. And then you'll take whatever you're popping up, and you'll just kind of sit it right like that. So it'll just pop up when you open it. And then to kind of hide my scrap down there, I've cut a piece of white cardstock. It's 3 by 5, and I will adhere that to the inside, and I'll cover up this little scrappy piece here. And if you wanted, just for fun, I had a lot of scraps. I have a little scrap of orange here, and I thought, oh, that might be kind of a nice little accent, so we'll put that along the base there, and then we're done. What do you think? Kind of cute, huh? So there's the outside, there's the inside. So just to show you some other cards, I mean, same idea, so same kind of setup, just by changing up the color combinations. So this one I used 3 different strips of paper, and I used a different color for that. This one is pretty much similar to what I just did here, but I used green in the banner instead of white. And you can see all the different combinations. And all I used was black ink for these. And then I just changed up the color I stamped it on and the background color. So you can really do all kinds of combinations, and you'll get a different result. So there's card number 1. All right, for the second card, if you remember, it's a fun fold. Looks like that. Very simple design. Again, you'll need half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I've scored this piece at 4 1/4, and then this is 2 1/8. So if you were going from this side, 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So that is the card base. Again, I chose black. I like black for Halloween. And thanks, Felicia. So what I did for this one is I'm keeping everything in kind of the gray and silver family. So I'm using this side of the paper, and I'll just adhere those panels to the front. And I'll use of course, I hate hiding the candy piece because I think the candy is so cute. But we'll just put that in the front like that. And then on the inside, we'll do this grayish piece. And then we'll put a piece of white. And this will be, if you wanted to write something in your card, because the right-hand side, we're gonna leave black. I like that for Halloween. So you can see how it just
A temporary
folds up
issue
like
has
that.
occurred while connecting to the server. Please try again later. 200.
Sorry, if you heard that, we were having some server issues today, and apparently there's one now. So hopefully this is still working. All right, so for the greeting, what I've done is I've embossed it. So if you're familiar with embossing, what you'll want to do is take your piece of cardstock that you're going to emboss, run the embossing buddy over it, and then, oops, I got to clean this off before I use my Versamark. So make sure you get all that ink off of it. Take my Versamark ink pad, and I'll ink it up again. We'll stamp it onto the black cardstock. And then, you can see that, hopefully, there you go. Take our white embossing powder, and we'll just sprinkle over top. You can see it like that, just kind of tap off the excess. And it looks like I missed a spot there. And then you'll use your heat tool, heat it up, and when you do that, it'll look like that. So you can see how it turns bright white and then it hardens, so it's more of a solid. This will scuff off its powder if you brush into it right now. So did that, and then I ran it through the die cut machine, so it's ready to go. And then with the larger one, I cut some of the silver cardstock. I thought this time I would use dimensionals and pop it up if I can find where I set them down. That is always my problem. I can never find, I hide things under things. Does anyone else do that? I tend to lose dimensionals a lot, or my tape runner, or the tear tape. All right, so there's my dimensionals. So I pop that one up like that, and then this one will just tape to the front of the card like that. But again, I'm gonna use my webs that I already cut out, and this time we'll have them go to the left of our greeting. So we don't want it to pop off, because if you want this to fit into an envelope, you want to make sure you kind of test that out. I'm not being really precise, as you can see, with the glue, because it's going to be covered up, so I'm not that worried about it. It's a little messy looking, but of course it dries clear and it'll be covered up. So, all right. So there's our half web, and it's not lined up perfectly, but again, that's not going to matter since we'll be covering it like that. So I will put our adhesive on this, the correct side, so half of this, and then it'll just sit right on top like that. So, easy, easy, right? And then if you wanted, you could add a little touch of bling. So this silver trim, it's on the last chance list right now. So it comes and there's gold and silver together. And I really like this a lot. It's thin, so it makes it really easy to put onto a card, and it's not super bulky, so that's why I like it. So you could tie a knot or a bow. I'm attempting a bow, but I'm sure I'll be all thumbs here, but we'll try it anyway. So hopefully, there we go. Trim off the tail. All right. And then last but not least, for the front, if you wanted to add some of the foam stars, we'll pull those out again because we love how those look. And I'm gonna stick with my black and white theme and just add those colors, but you could add a pop of purple. I did one earlier where I did that, and that was cute too. So this is your creation, so make it how you like it. I'll put a black on a black. And then our last surprise is we'll put a boo on the inside. One thing I forgot to show you is that one of them, oh here, this one. It also comes with the word eek, which I think is really cute too. But I had a boo cut out. Now I have silver or I have black. What do you think? Let's do this one silver. the other one we did black, so we'll just make this one a little bit different. That's what's fun about like cutting some of these shapes out, just cutting bunches of them, and then you can play around and see what you like best and come up with whatever combination you want. So there's the front, and there's when you open it. Oops, there. All right, so those are the 2 cards tonight. Let's see, where did I set the other one? Right here. So those are our 2 cards. And if you comment on or share my Facebook Live videos, then you're automatically entered to win the projects that I make each week. So next week I will be giving these away. And I will be back on Wednesday next week. So apologies again that it's not my normal night. It's a little goofy with the holiday and everything. So if you'd like one of these cards, comment on or share, and you can catch it on replay too if you aren't seeing it live, since it is kind of an odd night for me to be live. All right, last week, if you missed it, we had Cheryl Brunn was our guest presenter. It's been a lot of fun for me the last 2 weeks because Cheryl was our guest presenter last week, and then the week before that, Kathy Pop shared a really pretty pastel card. And it's been great for me because I got to be the assistant and watch them make all these wonderful creations, and it was a lot of fun. So I appreciate them helping me out. I'm recuperating. I'm almost back to normal, so I'll be able to take over. But if anyone ever wants to be guest presenter, of course, let me know. I would love it. All right, let me show you real quick what Cheryl made last week. So she used the Sunflower 3D embossing folder, and she embossed and debossed. So she did this one with gold here. She made these 2 cards using the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and then she swiped ink over. So there's a debossed and an embossed side there. And then she did similar technique using Petal Pink with some darker Poppy Parade, I think she used, and Cajun Craze. So real fun, pretty cards. So we have 5 winners this week. I mean, how cool is that? So, all right, let's do the first one. This gold one will go to Michelle Peck. That one will go to you. Next, we'll draw for this one right here. It says for you. Sheila Ledoux, that's going to you. This friend card, that will go to Ronnie Petru. We've got this one here. Oops. We'll go to Kelly Lawhorn. And then our last one, you're the best, goes to Felicia Blaine. So fun to have 5 winners. That doesn't usually happen. Cheryl made so many cards. That was so fun. So I love it that more people can be winners. And I will send you these cards this week. And I think I have everyone's address, but if not, I'll be reaching out to you for your address. So thank you again. I hope you really liked the cards tonight. Be sure to comment on or share. I also will post this video in my YouTube channel because they're only on Facebook for 30 days and then they get deleted. So thanks again. Have a wonderful week, and I hope you had a great Labor Day holiday. Take care. Thanks.